Hello. So this is WWF Superstars from May the 23rd, 1992. And there are far too many matches on this show. So the opening match was The Undertaker, and he took on Bill Pearce. And as you can imagine, The Undertaker won quite comfortably when he did the tombstone and pinned Bill Pearce for the 1, 2, 3. The whole match they were talking about the Berserker and what the Berserker did to him a few weeks ago, or tried to do to him a few weeks ago, and they're obviously going to have a rematch at some point. But of course, you have to remember that the Berserker will pay for his stupidity. His huss. Mr. Fuji, the Berserker, you will rest in peace. So that was match number 1. Match number 2 was, I can't read my own writing, literally I can't read it, was Dwayne Gill, and he took on Virgil. And Virgil got the win via submission. I think it was $1 Million Dream. They hooked on Dwayne Gill's really long hair at that time in the 90s to get the victory. And then the next match was a tag team match between the reigning World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. That's Ted DiBiase and Owen I. Shyster, Money Incorporated. And they took on Mark Kay and Jim Powers. And Money Incorporated won when Owen I. Shyster hit the flying clothesline off the, running, forearm clothesline off the side to get the victory. And then they were saying that they're the greatest team of all time, and that if and when they meet the Natural Disasters again, they will beat the Natural Disasters again. Which I take a dim view of, because they never actually beat them. They won by a count out at WrestleMania, because Ted DiBiase and Owen I. Shyster, you know, and I know, and everyone around the World Wrestling Federation knows, you took the coward's way out. You took your belts and you went home. You went home with the losers share the money. Fact. That's a fact, Jack. The next match was the British Bulldog, and he took on Dwayne Gill's on and off tag team partner, Barry Hardy. And running power slam. It's a 1, 2, 3. And the Bulldog gets the victory, as he always did. Well, most of the time. The next match was Bobby Knight, and he took on the Mountie. And the Mountie did indeed get his man when he won via pinfall. So the Mountie with the victory there. And they said during the match that if he used the massive shock gun that he took out Sergeant Slaughter with, then there would be financial consequences. And they teased that he was going to do it on this on Bobby Knight, and Bobby Knight went, don't shock me, don't shock me. And then he got out of the ring, thankfully. So there was no shocking incident that evening. Next match was a tag team match between Vince Soda and his tag team partner, the Dublin Destroyer. And they took on Bushwhacker Butch and Bushwhacker Luch, the Bushwhackers. And if you can't get down with the Bushwhackers and they make you smile, then you're soulless, you're partyless, you're lifeless. Bushwhackers get the win via pinfall. It wasn't a very long match. most of these matches were squash matches because it's superstars and you're not going to get like a half an hour classic. Not generally anyway. So that's how that match. And then your main event of the evening was the Ugandan giant Kamala, and he took on Kerry Davis. And Kamala won when he did the splash onto the back of Kerry Davis, and he rolled him up to the 1, 2, 3. Well, eventually, because he wasn't sure how to roll him over. But yeah, 1, 2, 3 to get the victory. That was your superstars. In other events in that show, probably the bit with Flair, Slick Rick, as they were calling him then, Slick Rick, and he played a message on tape from Miss Elizabeth. It was Miss Elizabeth, saying, "I know you're on the road again, but I've got something special for when you come back." And Flair was saying, "Oh, that was left on my answer phone machine, and look, she wants me." And then while they were playing this, they did this thing like a picnic outside with him, and an unknown woman and Mr. Perfect. And Mr. Perfect, he ate one grape and didn't like it, so threw it away. And he went to give the green grape to the woman, and then he put it away. I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, it was good. It was good. That was probably the highlight of that show because it wasn't very good. Apart from one thing. So there was an interview segment with the Ultimate Warrior. And he was talking about the curse, and as Warrior did, he talked about lots of weird stuff like the mountains of the warriors and the hills and yeah, you know what he was like. And he was standing there, and as he was standing there, they were talking about the Papa Shango curse and how it affected him. And he goes, "The curse doesn't affect me when you've got all these people around." And then Gook came sounding things like green stuff came falling down his face, and he just stood there and he went, "Shango Warriors," and then walked off. It was really weird. I don't know what it was all about. It was weird, but that's how it ended. That was that interview. That's the highlight of that show, and the Flair backstage promo vignette, and that was it. It was alright. I mean, in those days, you got to understand. In those days, WWF and WCW for that matter, they didn't have the budget that they've got now, so that they didn't have massive like amounts of shows with like quality matches. A lot of them were filler matches, and this is one of those shows. So yeah, it is what it is. It was all right. Nothing special, nothing to write home about, nothing of any good significance. This is in the time when WWF had only 4 pay-per-views. So obviously the next pay-per-view was going to be SummerSlam in August, and that's that SummerSlam. I'll get onto it at some point. But yeah, so it was okay. No. But yeah, so that's it really. That's all I've got to say, because that's all I need to say, and that's because I am Will Nitro. I am the only Will Nitro in the world. I am the man. Always have been, always will be. You're your fans. It's been my privilege to talk to you people out there in YouTube land. You know who you are. Thank you very much. And good night, and I will see you at ringside. Goodbye.